Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we are going to talk about platinum chests. Now, they have just been released and there is very limited information on these chests at this time, but I did want to share a little bit of information that I have looked at so far. And unfortunately, it's not going to be the most reliable, so I wouldn't make major decisions on it at this time, but I know there are some smarter people than I who are going to be putting things together to try to get a little bit better of a prediction of these chests. What I did to evaluate these chests and try to get an initial comparison with spending that same amount of rubies on gold chests was I used a pool of 100 platinum chests, which would cost 120,000 rubies, and I put in that amount into the calculator for the gold chests, which currently we have and is pretty accurate. But to calculate how many prizes you would get from the platinum chests, I left out the ice and fire shards, but using the others, I put in the number of chests that would hit that rarity, which for the first one is 70%, the legendary is 25%, and the mythic is 5%. So I put in the number of black pearls you would get in each one, multiplying it by the percent of the rarity, which is how many chests would drop that rarity, and divided it by the total number of possible prizes in that rarity, which unfortunately assumes that each drop within that rarity has the same chance of dropping, which we do not know that for a fact, and we do not have that information for us, unfortunately, which means that the sigil drops could be less likely or more likely, or the ember drops could be less likely or more likely. So these numbers might not represent what you'll get in actuality. The other problem we have is the limited number of people who have spent on platinum chests so far are in a limited portion of the sequence, meaning they may be at a point where they're getting a ton of one resource and a small amount of another, or maybe they're at a point where they're getting terrible drops on a lot of things at the same time. So if you look at the numbers that I've put together, the sigil drops from platinum chests are actually not as good, and the ember drops are slightly better, while the breeding tokens are comparable and the speed ups are slightly less, and the pearls are actually significantly better. I do know some players who have spent on a large number of the platinum chests, between 80 to 100, and their drops have been very randomly distributed. One person got almost twice as many sigils and embers as the numbers that I have calculated, and as well as getting a lot of black pearls. Now, another player got almost the same or less in some resources than as if they would have got if they spent on rubies. So that just shows how random these platinum chests are. And when you're spending a lot to get these chests, you're going to get a lot of certain resources potentially, or you're going to hit a bad portion because you're only opening 10 to 20 of them and you're not going to get very good drops at all. Opening the gold chests allows you to get the average rather than only opening a small portion of them and getting the bad drops. You average it out over a larger number of chests, meaning that overall you'll get a better drop rather than risking it with the platinum chests where you could potentially get terrible drops. But if you like the gamble, the feeling of gambling, and the chance at a high drop, there is more chance of that with the platinum chests. So currently, these platinum chests seem to have a good chance at giving a high number of rewards, but that is very random and that is a big risk to take. So currently, my opinion is that I don't think I'll be spending on these platinum chests at this time, but I hope that there will be new information and more details for me to share with you soon that might help you decide whether or not the platinum chests are right for you. And like with gold chests, if you're opening a lot of them, then it is easier to hit the average. So if you are a big spender and you have 200 to 300 or 400,000 rubies that you're going to open at one given time, then the platinum chests might be convenient and allow for more resources. But again, there just isn't enough information on these platinum chests yet to really make a well-informed decision. So I would encourage you to hold off if you really need to maximize all your resources because you're fighting for finishing off the branch or getting your first mythic. But I will definitely get out more information when it's available, so keep an eye out for that.